Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome back to Brielle Tarot. The energy today feels hauntingly familiar. Someone you thought was gone. Someone you never expected to return. Their energy is resurfacing. The cards are whispering of unfinished stories, unspoken words, and divine timing. Let's see why this mysterious person is being guided back into your life and what the universe wants you to know about their reappearance. The first card that appears, Page of Cups, immediately carries the energy of someone from your past who has been quietly thinking about you. This person may have once seemed distant, detached, or as if they didn't care, but now their energy is slowly resurfacing in your field. Maybe you've seen them in a dream, received little signs, or heard someone mention their name out of nowhere. There's a subtle vibration here, like someone who longs to apologize but hasn't yet found the courage to come forward. They're searching for the right moment, while you too might be caught between wanting to open your heart and wanting to protect it. Then comes the King of Wands, a charismatic figure, confident and radiant, yet hiding a vulnerability beneath that strong exterior. When you knew this person, they may have seemed like a leader, someone hard to approach, but now their energy feels softer. It's as if they're learning how to express their feelings differently. Not through grand gestures or words, but through small, meaningful actions. You might soon notice subtle movements, a like on social media, a random message that feels anything but accidental. Next, the Queen of Pentacles, your energy. You feel grounded but tired, focused on rebuilding your life, nurturing your peace, and learning to love yourself again. Yet just as you've almost moved on, the universe brings this person back as a test. Not to reopen old wounds, but to show you how much you've healed. This card speaks of maturity, self-worth, and emotional wisdom. You're realizing now, you deserve love that doesn't need to be earned. You are enough, simply by being you. The Nine of Wands follows, a symbol of endurance and quiet strength. You've been through a lot, and you've learned your lessons well. There's caution in your heart, a promise to yourself not to fall into the same traps again. Yet deep down, a small part of you still wonders, have they really changed? You tell yourself you've moved on, but in the quiet of night, there's still a flicker of something unresolved. Then appears the Page of Swords, a clear sign that communication may soon arise. Someone is watching, curious, observant, perhaps checking your social media or asking mutual friends about you. They want to know if you're still angry, if you still remember, if someone new has entered your life. They're not ready to come too close yet, but their energy is unmistakably present. You might even sense them energetically. That feeling of being watched in a tender, unspoken way. The Seven of Cups speaks of confusion and choices. Many paths are opening before you now. Perhaps new admirers, new opportunities. Yet the shadow of the past still lingers strongest. The universe is asking you, will you choose familiarity or the unknown that promises healing? Not every door is meant to be opened again, and this is your chance to choose from wisdom, not nostalgia. The Eight of Pentacles shows your devotion to self-growth. You're working hard, building, improving, no longer interested in chaos or half-hearted love. This is your season of transformation. And ironically, just as you shift your focus to yourself, someone out there begins to realize what they've lost. They see now that you are not someone who can be taken for granted. You've become rarer, stronger, and therefore even more magnetic. Then comes the Eight of Swords, the card of mental entrapment. There's still fear, hesitation, and the echo of old pain. You may still be afraid to open up again, afraid of repeating the past, of giving too much, of losing your balance. But the universe whispers, don't let fear be the cage that keeps love away. You hold the key to your freedom. You decide what stays and what leaves. And finally, the Nine of Pentacles, a beautiful, radiant ending. You will soon stand in your own power, peaceful and fulfilled. You'll feel whole not because of someone else's love, but because of your own. You'll glow with effortless grace, the kind of beauty that comes from healing. And from that place, the universe will align you with something real. A love that matches your growth, whether it's a transformed soul from your past or someone entirely new, who meets you as the person you've become. Have you truly healed from that past relationship? Or are you just covering the wound with busyness? Sometimes we tell ourselves that we've already healed, when in truth, we've only been covering the wound with busyness. We run to work, to routines, to anything that keeps us busy enough not to feel the sting of loss. And that energy comes through so clearly when the first card appears, the Queen of Pentacles, a card that reflects someone who seems calm, gentle, and independent, yet carries a heart still learning to soothe itself. You might be focusing on rebuilding your life, improving yourself, organizing your finances, your career, your appearance, even your social circle. On the surface, everything looks fine, but deep inside, there's something still unfinished. You're still learning how to forgive yourself for once loving someone who's now just a memory. You smile in front of others, but sometimes at night you quietly ask yourself, am I really okay? The next card, Five of Cups, reveals the part of you that still glances back sometimes. You've tried to forget, but there are small moments, a song, a place, a few words, that pull you back to someone you once loved deeply. You regret the things left unsaid, and sometimes you feel foolish for remembering someone who no longer thinks of you. But love can't be ruled by logic. Often, it's not the person we miss. It's the way things ended. That's where your heart still lingers, in the space between closure and release. Yet the universe wants you to know, not everything lost is truly gone. Behind the spilled cups, two still stand, symbols of hope and new beginnings waiting for you to notice them. You only need to stop staring at what's broken and start seeing what's still whole. Then, the energy begins to move faster with the Eight of Wands, showing that your life is about to shift soon. Maybe through an unexpected message, a sudden opportunity, or a coincidental meeting that's actually divine timing. Everything begins to accelerate, as though the universe is gently pushing you out of your sadness. You'll start to feel lighter, more open, more ready to receive what's new. This movement might even come from within. The moment you realize you've been holding on too long to emotions that were meant to be released, and you finally step out of that same old cycle. Next comes the Six of Swords, bringing calm after the storm. It speaks of someone slowly leaving the past behind, crossing the emotional sea that once raged with pain. You're starting to understand that not everyone who enters your life is meant to stay forever. Some are simply there to teach you something precious. Once you accept that truth, peace begins to settle in. You may still feel longing, but it no longer hurts. It becomes gratitude. You can finally say within yourself, I'm not angry anymore. I don't want to go back. But thank you for what once was. In the middle of that healing journey, the universe presents the Two of Cups, a sign that love is drawing near again. It might come as someone who brings calm rather than chaos, someone who understands you without needing endless explanations, or perhaps someone from the past returning in a wiser, more awakened form. But what matters most is this. Now you can tell the difference between love that helps you grow and love that tears you apart. You're no longer looking for someone to fill a void. You've learned to love yourself first. That's why the love coming your way will feel different. Softer, truer, and unrushed. Then, the Ten of Pentacles arrives, carrying the promise of a stable and abundant future. This is the energy of long-term happiness that comes after a journey filled with pain and growth. You're finally building a new foundation, in career, in finances, or in the peaceful home you've always wanted. You've realized that happiness doesn't come from someone else, but from the life you consciously create with love for yourself. Every scar, every heartbreak shaped you into someone stronger and wiser. None of your pain was wasted. It was the soil where a more beautiful life began to grow. However, the Two of Pentacles reminds you to stay balanced. As things start moving forward, you might face a choice: to open your heart to something new, or to wait until you feel completely ready. You may wobble between fear and faith, but that's okay. The universe doesn't rush you. What matters is that you move consciously, not out of fear, but from readiness to love again, this time in a healthier way. And finally, the Page of Cups appears, gentle, tender, full of fresh hope, like morning dew. This could mean a sweet message, a sincere gesture, or someone new arriving with pure intentions. But this time, you won't rush. You'll receive it calmly, knowing that real love doesn't need chasing. It arrives naturally, at the right moment. The Page of Cups may also represent you, opening your heart again. Not because you need someone, but because your heart is now full enough to share. You're no longer hiding pain behind busyness. You've healed it with love, acceptance, and the courage to begin again. And here, the universe whispers gently, "You've come so far. You've grown so much. You've learned deeply." So now, pause. Breathe. Look at how strong you've become. Because in the end, healing isn't about forgetting someone. It's about forgiving yourself and choosing happiness again. Not because you were never hurt, but because you've learned to love yourself, even through the pain. Thank you, my loves, for tuning in to Brielle Tarot. The return of this mysterious soul isn't by accident. It's a sign that something still needs to be seen, healed, or understood. Trust what you feel, and remember, not every reappearance is meant to repeat the past. Some come to awaken your next chapter. If this message resonated with your spirit, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so our energies can stay aligned. Until next time, stay grounded, stay intuitive, and let the universe reveal the truth in divine timing.